Harrington. She joins us on the CNBC Newsline, who defended Intel over the past year, at least, as she continues to own the stock. So what do you make of the news today? What are you doing with your shares, Jenny?
We're proudly holding them, and we think the market response is not because anyone believes that suddenly there are going to be huge improvements, but it's because two things. One, investors believe, as you guys have already discussed, that Intel deserves a tech person as a CEO, and Mr. Gelsinger has proven roots of being an excellent leader. So his return totally ruins the baloney claims that I've heard over the last year that there's been brain drain. And it reminds us that there are brilliant minds at Intel and that want to continue to work at Intel and do already work there. But one of the most important things to say, too, is the second line of the press release. And the second line of the press release said that their numbers for this year are actually ahead of the guidance that they issued in October. And that for $4.55 a share, which was already up over 2019. And that's where I think the argument comparing it to a Wells Fargo, for example, or a GE starts to fall apart, because those are companies that were struggling much more with earnings than I think Intel is. This is a rosy future. The other thing that I think is tricky is when we look at Intel versus AMD or NVIDIA, the conversation always seems to be as if there's a winner takes all. And it's not winner takes all, right? I was at the Credit Suisse conference last month and saw all three of these companies present. And what slapped me in the face was that it's not a winner takes all, and there's going to be some market share shift. But the market and the technology infrastructure that we use today needs all of these players and all of what they manufacture. So then I take a step back from all of this and I look at it and I say, all right, Intel's trading at 11 times earnings versus AMD and NVIDIA at 50 times. And they've just told me that their earnings are ahead of schedule, ahead of their guidance. That sets me up for a really positive return in the future, and I'm okay if it takes some time. I don't need Mr. Gelsinger to make immediate changes. Right. It can take time.
The other multiples you mentioned, though, are where they are for a reason, right? That's where the story has gone to. The puck went that way, and that's why those multiples are where they are, right? Mr. Gelsinger, I'm sure he brings a good brain and he brings a good knowledge of Intel back into the top job, but he doesn't bring with him lost market share, right? He doesn't bring with him some of the fundamental reasons why Intel has fallen behind AMD and Taiwan Semi and some of these other players in that space, does he?
But if you're going to use where the puck went to, the puck went there, and where is it going from here? Is the puck going to Intel, is the puck going to AMD and NVIDIA going to 80 times earnings? Because that's what it would take for them to have a 50% bump in share price return. Or is the puck going to Intel trading at 15 times earnings or 16 times? Because that's all it would take to get that to 50%. So I would say from this point in time, the puck is going in terms of capital appreciation of the share price, it's going in Intel's favor.